Hey everybody, this is Alzorath, and welcome to Pillars of Eternity. This is a game that harkens back to the days of games such as Baldur's Gate, where it was kind of an interesting, almost D&D campaign kind of adventure. Well, Baldur's Gate was a D&D campaign adventure, but I digress. Pillars of Eternity is a game that I've been following for quite a while because it has a lot of the people who worked on games such as Baldur's Gate as part of the team that developed it. This is developed by Obsidian Entertainment, and they really do gear themselves towards a storyline that's supposed to be pretty engrossing. I haven't actually played through Pillars of Eternity, so I don't know how engrossing it's going to be, but I really look forward to trying it out with you guys alongside. If you have anything you'd like to see special in the series, feel free to comment down below and ask about it, or if you have any questions about the storyline thus far, feel free to ask about it as well. Of course, we're starting out, so hey, you don't really have much of a storyline to ask about just yet. Options are fairly basic. This is not a Gamer 5 though, so we're not going to go into that. Instead, we're going to click New Game. We have 4 difficulties here. I'm going through Vanilla Normal. There's, of course, Expert Mode, which turns off a lot of helper features. And you have Trial of Iron, which is basically your Iron Man mode. I'd wager there's someone out there playing Path of the Damned Trial of Iron mode, which would be a complete nightmare to LP unless you've played through this several times, I would wager. You also have Easy, which is probably a bit too easy for me in my opinion. I think I should do fine with normal because I have played quite a few games like this. Hard is more like a challenge. I don't really feel like doing hard on this one. I feel like playing through and hearing the story and enjoying the game in general, and there's less chance of me dying on normal. If I die on normal, it's my own bloody fault. So let's go ahead and click accept on normal vanilla mode. If I really enjoy a second playthrough of this, I might go back and actually go through on possibly iron mode or something like that. But for now, vanilla, just plain normal. And we're going to go ahead and step away for a second while you guys enjoy the introduction of the storyline, and I will be right back whenever we get to character creation.
5 wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
Okay, here we are at character creation, and welcome back. I'm going to go with a female character this time. Usually I would just go with a normal male character, but there's a reason I'm going with female. Basically, there's an aesthetic of the class that I want to choose, well, class and race that I want to choose, that just doesn't really work with the male avatar. I don't like any of them, so we're going to be choosing the female for this one, which is a little bit anti-thematic for me. Usually I try to make a character that looks like me, but instead we're going to go with female here, and we have a few choices for race. You have human, of course. You have a Mawa, which is basically like the Avatar characters. I forget their proper name. You have dwarves, you have elves, you have Orlon, which are kind of your little, not necessarily halfling characters, but kind of in that same vein. Then you have your godlike, which are half god, half human, or half other creature, of course, half mortal creature. And I'm going to be going with a godlike on this one, which they tend to have weird faces and stuff like that, but I feel like going with a godlike simply because they offer an interesting aspect to them, and also they can't wear helmets, so I have an excuse for not covering up their heads. So we're going to go with a moon godlike. There's 4 kinds. There's death godlike, which is the one that you see with the butt face there. You have fire godlike, which is, well, on fire. And you have nature godlike, and then finally moon godlike, which is what I'm choosing for this one. It's basically an AoE, not necessarily heal, but endurance recovery. Endurance is kind of like your ability to stand up and survive, pretty much. Whenever your endurance is gone, you start taking damage. So let's go ahead and click next. We get to choose our body type. I'm going to choose elf simply because it kind of fits. I don't want to be super tiny, but I don't want to be like huge or anything like that. I don't want to be like a Mawa huge. Yeah, that's big. Could be human or elf. I don't like the stubby races. So let's go ahead and click next, and we've got our choices of classes here. Most of these classes should seem fairly familiar. I mean, you have your basic wizard, you have a rogue, your priest, you have a monk, which is kind of like your melee fighter, druid, which is shape-shifting and totems, chanter is kind of like your bard, ranger is, well, your kind of hunter kind of character. You have paladins, which are here healing / melee. You have fighters, which are, well, pure melee. Then you have barbarians, which are kind of like savage melee. I'm going to be going with Cypher, though, which is a little bit different. If you guys have played Guild Wars, you might recognize Mesmer as a reference that I'm making here. Mesmers were kind of like the mentalists. They go in and they take control of opponents' minds. They deal damage to the mind and stuff like that. They deal a lot of mental-based attacks. This one also has a little bit of a melee ability. Not huge, but enough. And they got a little bit of stealth bonuses and mechanics and stuff like that. They're just a generally good all-around character. It's kind of like your warrior mages, if you will. So let's go ahead and grab the Cypher. We're going to click next. Get to choose our abilities here. I'm going with Eye Strike and Soul Shock out of the choices that I have available. You can't get any of the like high-level powers just yet. You have Antipathetic Field. Antipathetic? I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. Antipathetic. You're not pathetic. We're going against it. It's basically a corrosive damage kind of effect. Mind Wave. It can cause, I believe it can knock them down as well. Yeah, or knocked down, knocked prone. You have Tenuous Grasp, which causes fear, and you have Whisper of Treason, which basically is a mind control. I think Soul Shock is good because I can cast it on a tank and deal some damage to enemies around there, and I can do Eye Strike if I ever need to melee myself, which is pretty much kind of something that's going to have to happen because that's how I regain my ability powers, which is basically done with focus, and focus is gained by hitting things with basically a Psy Whip, if you will. Of course, we're going to boost our intelligence up. We're going to go up to, we could go almost to 20 if we really wanted to. I'm going to go ahead and get 15 dexterity. We're not going to bother with any might. We're going to actually go into constitution. I'm going to go down to 9 might. Not really too worried about the stats that might has. Actually, let's go back up with that. Let's go down to 12 constitution. Let's go down to 17 intellect so we can get a little bit of perception in there. We'll even go down a little bit on there. There we go. 15 perception, 15 dexterity, and 17 intellect. We are smarts! And we're perceptive and dexterous, so we should be able to do some interesting things. I'm not going to min-max, so if you guys have different ideas of what stats I should get, tough. We can deal with that whenever we are able to get custom characters later on. I haven't gotten to that part in my little test runs to see if I could record this, so I don't know exactly what's going to go on there, but I do know that you can hire custom characters just from some of the articles that I've read on the game. You have different cultures you can come from. Adir is supposedly the most common, and it's like all over the place. You have the Middle Plains. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. You guys can go ahead and give your opinions on that one down below. Deadfire Archipelago is up there, but we're going to go with Old Vela. We have other ones here. We have like hunters and, well, wild places. Yeah, but we're going to go with Old Vela, which is now a crumbling remnants of an empire of warring merchant nations. Counting many humans and dwarves among the ranks, the Old Valian countries are still forces to be reckoned with and are proud of their rich cultural heritage. And we start with a rapier and a stiletto, which basically I think is badass. So that's why we're starting with them. I like the starting weapons. So we have choices as well as our personal backgrounds. We could be colonists, drifters, laborers, merchants. Merchant is pretty interesting. Mechanics allows us to pick locks and stuff like that and disarm traps, which is something that's pretty interesting. We also have mercenary here, which is athletics and lore. I'm going to go with merchant. So we have mechanics and stuff like that. We could also go with artists and dissident and stuff like that. Dissident boosts our stealth. It is pretty interesting. I'm not sure exactly if we're going to actually ever get any stealth abilities, but we're going to go with merchant instead. We have mechanics, so we can pick locks and stuff. So let's go ahead and click next. As far as colors go, we're actually, I've already determined this one. Let's go ahead and accept that and that. There we go. Usually I don't like pink or purple or stuff like that, but we're going to go with it. And as you can see, if I swap through the heads, some of the heads get pretty interesting here. It's because Godlike does that to the faces and heads. But we're going to go with that head right there because it's honestly the only moon-like head that I actually like. I'm okay with this one, but it's still not my favorite. It just looks weird. It balances weird. This one just seems more hard. I don't want to say natural, but more believable. So let's go ahead and click next there. And we're, of course, going to choose our own little face here. I'm going to choose that one simply because I prefer looking at that one over the weird kind of pustules on the face. That honestly gives me the willies. So we're not going to ever probably have that one. Press next. We have a few voice options here. You can even give her male voices. She can even have no voice. She can be a mute. But I'm going to go with Mystic here, so we actually have some auditory feedback. And we're going to go ahead and have to give her a name, Alania. Usually I go with Stoic female voice, by the way. But for now, we'll go with Mystic, just to mix it up a little bit. And yeah, that's our level 1 cipher ready to go in. And I'm not going to talk over too much of the dialogue, like I said. But I will end up accidentally talking over some of it, and I have to really apologize for that if I do. The Caravan Master finishes addressing this group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis. Yeah.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there. Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood? Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day. There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink. Called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
Okay, that last sentence was actually directed towards this kind of hunter guy that's part of the group, who will be going to get water and stuff like that. As far as the options here, I'm not going to go through all of them. We're going to go try to get some of the pertinent ones as far as like messages that tell us where to go and stuff like that. Maybe a little bit of the lore, but if I go through all of them, it's going to take for freaking ever, and it's going to be a little bit boring to go through. So let's go ahead and ask them where we find these berries.
Grow on a bush that's common around here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
But basically, I know the first little bit of this mission and how to get through it, but it's going to be a little bit of work to get there. Let's go ahead and ask him about the ruins.
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
We could ask about more of these things, but let's go ahead and see about getting those berries so we can advance the dialogue tree here.
Hold on.
There we go.
Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
He's scanning over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's nights sleeping in uneven ground without blankets or a pillow.
Kalisha. Yeah. Kalisha!
She needs to find some springberries. Watch that she doesn't drop dead. If someone could tell me who Odin's...
What kind of guide says something like that?
If someone who could tell me who Odema's voice is, I'd be kind of interested in finding that out. Because I want to say it's one of the people who did voices for Wasteland 2. But
kind you can afford.
I'm not entirely certain.
You're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything. Off with you. Hayden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a Beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
Yeah, hut dwellers be damned.
Let's get going before you keel over.
Yay. Okay, we need to get the spring berries to make a remedy. It's not really a remedy. It's more of a trying to remember the proper term for it. It's basically reducing the effect of the symptoms. It's not really a remedy. We're just waiting for the whole thing to pass. Yeah, he's just a merchant. We could ask him more about himself, but let's see what he's got. He's got some basic items. I'm not going to bother buying them. We can't even really... Oh, we can sell some of these things. Okay. This doesn't really do anything for us. So we could right-click on it for more information, blah, blah, blah. These are just things I got for being a Kickstarter, which is kind of stupid silly, but we can sell like that. This thing will actually give us a obsidian entertainment symbol on our back, but I'm going to go ahead and trade that. Boop. There we go. I'm going to keep the ring, though. I can wear the ring, and it's going to actually provide a slight benefit. So let's go ahead and throw that on. If we look at it, Gon's Pledge, which I don't remember what it does, but it's going to... Oh, wait, it's a healing ability. Never mind. And we're going to go ahead and equip the pig, just so we have a pig wandering around with us. There we go. Oh,
indeed.
Yeah, it's just how it goes. And we also do need to shift our equipment around. You are going to swap those out. I believe that's going to be a little bit better. Accurate 1. Oh, nope. Actually, we want to keep the stiletto in our hand for now. And we're going to swap hers out. There we go. Just because I know something's coming up, so I might as well be prepared for it slightly. Exploration is key. Yeah, we can wander around and we can look at various things. We can actually even, I believe it's tab. Yeah, tab will show us things we can search into. I don't think we want to actually search the stuff back here, because with most CRPGs, if you search the stuff in the camp, they tend to get a little pissy with you. So yeah, it's not exactly what we want to be doing too much of. Let's go over here. I think there is something over here we can grab. Yeah, we can grab some foodstuffs, which is going to be Burned Lady. We're going to actually swap these characters out. There we go. Because we want her up front. Burned Lady was added to the stash. One nice thing about this is there is a stash system that you don't really have to worry about too much, because basically all the, like, not necessarily consumables, but unimportant items get added to the stash so they don't clutter up your inventory. And there isn't really a weight limit system. So here's our first combat. We're actually up against a young wolf. So we're going to have to fight that. Let's go ahead and have her try to knock him down if at all possible. And we'll have her, which is there. Oh, never mind. We're up front. We're going to have our main character no, we'll just stab it. And yeah, we'll do what we can. Boop. Okay. Yep. We're going to have damage reduction effects. So just go ahead and keep it going. We're going to unpause. This game, for this kind of game, you actually do want to pause quite a bit while fighting. So you have a little bit of control over, well...
Indeed.
Basically your actions. Yeah, we'll take it all. And we'll go ahead and get the spring berries. Let's close that.
This is it.
Yep. Yay! We got spring berries. As you receive quests, your journal will update with relevant information. Yes, it does. Okay, we've got... her asking us about stuff. Odema said something about you being in business for yourself. You used to transport things for people who wanted kept secret. Goods, people. We could reveal some information. Let's go ahead and we'll go with... I'm not sure what this kind of has an effect on. I know that for different backgrounds, you actually have different responses here available. Let's go with... I transported things people wanted to keep secret. How has it happened to come here? Competitors sold me out to the authorities. That's not too bad. Something that I never would have agreed to. I never was going to be in that position again. Yeah, let's go with 2. Let's have a bit of a moral standing, even though we do transport people, apparently. No, actually, didn't want to be that way. Yeah. Been a long time since I've been this way, but I always like it. Lord Radix' offer makes a girl think. I'll give him that. You here to settle like the rest of the lot? No, I'm just passing through. That's usually the case with the big city. A little ways. Yeah, where are you headed? Let's see. Just putting his time. No. Let's see. Yep. Seeing as how we're halfway between nowhere and nothing, I'd say you picked the right spot. Yeah, we picked the right spot for not wanting to be anywhere. Wasting time. Odema will give her an earful. Let's be on our way. We could ask her why she's here. Sister moved out here sometime back, sent a letter. She was worried, but She always is worried. This time, though, she asked me to come out, and that's got her a little worried. Okay. Haven't seen her in ages. She's been doing guide work in Ismiddle. Why does it always have to be the one that I can't pronounce? That, yeah, okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and, yeah, we'll go ahead and just go back to camp. Okay, I wouldn't hold my breath that Sparfle's getting you water anytime soon. He does what he feels like, and when he feels like it, we should check up on him first, slap him around a little. Okay, we got to go to the stream first. So we got to go get some water. And we gained a little bit of experience for finding that. Let's wander around a little bit up here, see if we can find anything else that's special. I didn't actually wander around too much. We can get some, like, possibly herbal items. If at all. Oh, let's see. Path winds through a narrow canyon, back to the way you came. Okay,
We shouldn't stray too far.
It's not going to let us wander around too much. It's invisible plot walls. Blah. Yeah. We could venture around just a little bit, check out the ruins and stuff, make sure there's nothing that we want in these areas. Shouldn't be anything, but yeah, you never know. We can tab. Yeah, it's not going to show us anything yet. We could attack that. Not really worth the trouble either. We've got a corpse here. And we got someone we can loot. Let's go ahead and loot this guy. We got some leather armor, which should be pretty good, and some lockpicks, which is kind of useful. Let's see. Is there anything else in this area? Nope. Freshly dead. That's about it. So we should be able to get some things that are of use off of some of these characters, though. Keep moving forward. Basically equipped people wandering in the woods looking for someone to get water. There's the water sack.
Sparfle went hunting. At least he left the water skins.
Okay, we got the water skin and we fill it up. Let's go ahead and continue.
Are you all right?
We don't want to see that little tip there. Sparfle's toe catches on a rock and he collapses forward in a heap, the feathered shaft of an arrow planted between his shoulders like an enemy flag. Yep, there he is on the ground. We can't loot him, which kind of concerns me. Why can't we take his stuff?
Ambush!
But yeah, we're surrounded, so we're going to need to kill these guys. As far as killing them goes, we've got plenty of abilities, so let's go ahead and start smacking the crap out of them. We're going to go ahead and try to blind you, and you're going to go after the big guy. The Galfin Hunter back here. And let's do some damage.
Have to try something else.
Okay, she's not very effective with that weapon, so let's try the axe instead.
Yes.
And she's going to go ahead and melee attack. We're just going to get in there as much as possible. Oh, there's fire damage on him. He's not exactly that resistant to it. But we are doing fairly good against these guys. Should be able to kill them. Okay, that one's dead, so we're going to have to go after this guy. For a warrior, you're just not doing much damage, okay? We jibbed the one down there. That's one thing that I like about the classic Baldur's Gate games. You actually can jib people to pieces. That's breaking them apart. Let's go ahead and take all of that, and we'll take all of this guy's stuff as well. Oh, we didn't get any axes or anything from them. Usually we get an axe, if at all possible. Oh, we have a camp spot over here. What's over here? We've got, oh, beer. Yeah, we'll take the beer. Okay, we can apparently reopen the beer. Okay. Let's see if we can get anything special over here. Some mushrooms. It's always good to wander around a little bit in games like this and see if you can find any extra items, simply because they can prove quite useful later on. Anything up here? Nope. Piglet is not something special. It's just something following us around. We could wander off towards the woods over here, but it's not going to give us anything. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead. We can actually go into her inventory. I'm going to swap something out real quick. We are going to... Well, I don't have anything to swap out to, so we're going to actually switch to her. We're going to switch the torch over to... Come on, give her the torch. There you go. And we're going to equip it instead of our primary weapon. We're even going to take our secondary weapon off. There's a reason for this, and you'll see why. So, yeah, we have weaponry choices here.
What you need?
So let's go ahead and get moving forward. And do what we can. Okay. We got to get back to camp. Oh, here's some enemies. Yay. Okay, more enemies, more death. You are going to go ahead and you're going to try to knock down that guy. and we're gonna actually both go after him with heavier melee weapons. Okay. Oh, apparently you got intercepted. Okay, so you're gonna torch them. Let's go ahead. Oh, she got knocked down. Crap. You knock him down. Okay, keep going, keep going. There you go. And you need to do your special ability. So let's go ahead and we'll do a Nova on her just to get this going out. Boom. And we will... That should help her take these guys out.
What you need?
Come on, take him down. Take him down. There you go. And then start attacking this guy. And he's burning on the ground, dying slowly. So we're not doing too bad. We got our focus back up.
Yes.
So her focus, I believe, might actually go back down. She's a little hurt right now, isn't she? Yep, her health went down. So she got damaged. Oh, and we're going to take all of that goodness, and we're going to take this guy's goodness as well. So now we actually have decent weapon selections here. So you're going to take the axe, and you're going to take your torch back. There you go. Let's see. We could give her 2 axes, but I don't think we want to. We're going to actually go for 2 axes on here. There you go. Now you guys are both dual wielding. Ha ha ha. Okay. We're going to have a little bit of an encounter up here. I don't like the fact that she's injured slightly, but there's not much we can do about it. She's injured as well. So, yeah, we're not exactly happy right now. We are slightly wounded. And we run across the Glanfathan leader there. All around you lie the massacred remains of other travelers, peppered with arrows and knife hilts, splayed and bug-eyed and filthy on the blood-damp earth. Kaliska puts the back of her left hand to her mouth as if to ward away the horror like a poisonous vapor. A handful of dark figures stand above the fallen, treading on limbs and backs and heads, jerking their axes from bodies as if from half-split logs as they prepare to add you to the sprawling pile beneath them. One of them, towering and severe, with a thick beard tasseled with knots, holds a wet blade at the neck of the man you recognize as Heoden, the last of your caravan left standing. Lay down your arms, trespasser. Do not forfeit this man's life for a fight you will lose. We actually have lore and stuff like that we can use. Lore is very useful in this situation, but yeah, we have options for what we can say thanks to that. Let's go ahead and use the lore response, because usually those responses are going to be a little bit better. Our words carry no weight when they have seen the truth with his own eyes. Blah, blah, blah. So I say again, lay down your arms. Okay. We don't have any might things. We have an intellect and we have perception. Okay, let's see. Which one do we want to tell him? Let's go with the intellect response. We could go with a lower intellect one. We could even go with like athletics and stuff like that. But I think intellect is going to be the more important one here. Yeah. Okay, the man frowns and motions as if to swing his axe. Heoden winces, but the blow never comes. Instead, the man cocks his head intrigued. Of course, but he would not. It is by the command of all the gods that we accept this charge. This charge? I said that weird. How do you know? Because it's consistent with their beliefs or because it's what you were told? Ah, the man glares. It's always been known to my people. And what if, let's see, what if Gawain's edict that weakness and age must be purged by youth and strength? You think Galawain would want some moldy, crumbling stones to survive long after their builders have turned to dust? He would not. He told us otherwise. I'm sure he did, just not you personally. But why should that stop you from killing innocents? Okay, distracted, the man's grip falters on his axe handle and he nearly fumbles it, affording Heoden the moment he needs to dodge out of his swing, which comes too late. Howling with rage, the man charges at you instead. So we're going to pause here, and that's going to be a battle. Haha. Yes, so he shouldn't have any bad effects on me. Yeah, he just has slight wounds. He's not exactly that down and out right now. We got a hunter, we got a leader, and we got another hunter. We're going to have her go after the leader. You're going to cast blindness on this hunter here, and you are going to stab this one's eyes. So unpause, everyone go to your spots. Okay, boom. Which is pretty good. This guy's going to be taking a little bit damage. And then we can start focusing fire on people. Let's go after the leader first. And you're going to go ahead and stab the leader as well. Okay, stabbing, stabbing, stabbing. Okay, you need to get out of there. Get out of there, get out of there, get out of there, get out of there. Okay, you guys are much better off right now, so you guys can keep stabbing these guys. Okay, wow, you took a lot of damage.
How can I help?
That's a lot more damage than he's taken before. He says to forgive us, and yeah. Good, good. The gods are just smile across his face, and he says he's ready. The wind begins to swell, whipping around the camp, electric and volatile, upending pots and rattling tents like an angry spirit. You feel it begin to seep beneath your skin like a jetty beginning to succumb to the surge of a great wave, and where it pierces you, it feels as though it is rending you apart from within. Seated against the wagon's wheel, amidst the howling maelstrom slashed across the chest and bow, Odema's body stirs, and with great effort he raises his sagging head, his eyes barely open. He looks directly at you. Get inside, run. Yes. The Biowak. And the piglet just lingers there. Why? Because it's not very smart. Yeah. Everybody else is running, piglet. You should probably run too. Oh, straining against the gale that threatens to pull you off your feet with every step, you set your hands on the worn folds of weathered rock and set about pulling yourself up the precipice. With the last burst of energy before your arm gives out, you swing yourself up to the ledge. Heoden trails behind, slowed by injury and delayed by early hesitation. As he nears the face of the rocks, one of the fallen attackers who had been feigning death lunges for Heoden and topples him onto the rocky ground. Okay. Restrained, Heoden lashes out against his fatigued assailant, but struggles to break his hold. They are close to you. Despite the wind from your position, if you were to throw your weapon at the attacker, you would have a good chance of hitting your mark. We could use the dexterity and hurl a rock at him, or we can throw our weapon at the attacker. I think we're gonna... do we want to grab a rock, or do we want to hurl one of these axes? Let's go ahead and grab a rock and hurl it. Your aim is true, and it hits... and the hit jars Heoden loose. Lurching to his feet, Heoden clambers up the base of the rocks. As he nears the top, however, the wind flares, pulling him sideways and tearing one of his hands free. But diving out onto the hard rock, you manage to catch hold of it, securing his other hand. You pull with waning strength, and it feels as though your arms will be jerked from their sockets. They hold just long enough for Heoden to set his feet and join you on the trembling ledge. There is a deep resonance to the swelling wind now. You feel it in the rocks beneath your feet and inside the cavity of your own chest, as though it would shake the marrow from your bones. Each new gust menaces the old stones before you, loosening connections, unsettling balances. As you dart beneath the old archway, the entire portal begins to fall beneath its own weight. Yes. And that's going to be episode 1. Yeah, it's going to crumble down. We're going to have a little bit of dialogue here. And that's going to be episode 1. Was that? Yes.
Had to be.
Yep.
Then we're lucky to be alive.
Yes, we are.
And we're the only ones.
We can't stay here. There could be another collapse. We're not getting out that way anyway. Let's get further in.
And there we go. We've gotten a bunch of experience off of this one. None of them leveled up. He's got his health back up, so that's always good. Actually, that might have been his endurance that was down. But either way, that's going to be the end of episode 1. If you guys enjoyed this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will be releasing these fairly regularly. I'm still deciding on what schedule I want for them, but keep gaming, have fun, peace out. This has been Alzorath. Bye.